Good morning and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to today's education-based Indiana High School Athletic Association Varsity Boys Baseball. Going to be morning for about 11 more minutes. Then we'll start the noon hour, and the game's slated to start around 12 noon. We'll mention both teams working on their infield-outfield practice. Logansport Berries have already finished theirs, and Central Catholic finishing up theirs. We're getting close. The umpires are on hand. I think they've been here quite a while. Parked near the umpires. I saw the softball umpires also. They were ready to go. That's probably about an 11 o'clock game for softball. And we'll mention this radio coverage is made possible through audiosportsonline.net. That's ASO. That's Rob Kendall. Rob Kendall, you can find him weekday mornings. You can find him 9 o'clock a.m. to 12 p.m. That's noon. And you can find him at Rob Kendall Show. That's Rob Kendall Show. That's weekdays, 9 to noon. You'll enjoy Rob Kendall. So the Knights just finished up their infield-outfield practice. This kind of a rematch. They had a game 8 days ago. It was for the Hoosier Conference. And we'll mention Logansport got the win. So we'll see what happens today. They had some rain, but this is a turf field. It soaks it up real well. And I'm getting ready for some baseball. We'll mention the visiting team on the scoreboard. That's the Knight. Lafayette Central Catholic Knights. They have a school enrollment of 302. Their school was founded in 1956. They perform in Class 2A, Sectional 37. There are 7 in that sectional. That sectional will take place at North Montgomery High School. First game of that sectional will happen on Wednesday, May the 27th, 6 o'clock game. That'll be the only game that evening. It'll be Rensselaer Central and Western Boone. The winner of that game will play Lafayette Central Catholic. That'll be the semifinal round. The Knights drew the proper ping pong ball out, I should say. Maybe Paul Neidig drew them out, but the Knights will play on Saturday, May the 30th at 1 o'clock. That's a Saturday, and we'll mention they'll either play Rensselaer Central or Western Boone. And then on Thursday, there'll be 2 games. That'll determine the Saturday semifinal game, and it's going to be Delphi and Benton Central. They'll play at 5:30 on Thursday the 28th. And then again on the 28th, second game, they're calling it a 7:30 start. It likely will not be 7:30 unless it's a quick game in the first game. We'll mention that game will feature Seeger Patriots and the North Montgomery Chargers. And again, we'll mention that Delphi Benton Central versus that game and Seeger North Montgomery. The winner of that game will play Saturday, right after Central Catholic ball game. And they got that at a 3, maybe a 3:30 start time on the 30th. And the championship game is going to happen on Monday. That's going to be June the 1st. It'll be a 6 o'clock start for the championship game of Class 2A Sectional 37. Now we'll talk about the principal. The principal at Central Catholic is Dan Charleboy. The athletic director is Tim Bourdonnais. The assistant athletic director is Charlie Roberts. The athletic trainer is Sarah Igo. Sarah Igo, I got to mention, I haven't mentioned it for a little bit. She has 2 children. She's got a 2-year-old. So I think he's a boy. No, I think she's a girl. And she also has a 5-month-old. I think he's a boy. That is a good family. We'll mention Central Catholic. Central Catholic located at 2410 South 9th Street, Lafayette, Indiana, 47909. You can reach them by phone by dialing 765-474-2496. On the web, it's lccathletic.com. They were the colors navy and white. They perform in the Hoosier Athletic Conference along with Logansport. And I will try to mention the order of finish. I believe this to be true. We'll see. Twin Lakes Indians, Central Catholic Knights, Western. I think I got this messed up already, but Western, the Panthers. I am going by records in the conference. I'm not going by overall. And then West Lafayette Red Devils, then Logansport Berries, then Benton Central, the Benton Central Bison, then Hamilton Heights, the Hamilton Heights Huskies, then Tipton Blue Devils, and then Rensselaer Central, the Rensselaer Central Bombers. Well, mentioned the Knights are currently 19 wins, 6 losses on the season. Their head coach is Tim Bourdonnais. He's a 1987 graduate from Central Catholic. The Knights currently 9 wins at home, 1 loss, 7 wins on the road, 5 losses, and 3 wins on a neutral site. No losses. The next game on the agenda for the Knights, they're going to play on Monday. They'll play Monday. That's May 25th. That'd be also a 12 noon ball game. Hamilton Heights Huskies will be at Lafayette Central Catholic. And I'll mention happening today, Hamilton Heights doubleheader at Frankfort. Coach Adam Hughes, Hamilton Heights Huskies coach, I believe in recent years, he also calls the offensive plays for the football team. Huskies are currently 7 wins, 15 losses. The Frankfurt Hot Dogs, their head coach is Andy Dudley. Andy Dudley, believe it or not, he plays men's baseball. I have umpired. He was the catcher. I was right behind him. He's a pretty good player. They are 15-9. Those games today supposed to start. They've already started. 10 o'clock game and a 1 o'clock game. And so we'll also mention a little bit about the Logansport Berries. Logansport Berries High School. The school was founded in 1871. Their mascot is Felix the Cat. They have a school enrollment of 1226. We are here at Jim Turner Field. Pleasant to be here. Very hospitable in the press box, and that's an understatement. They are Class 3A, Sectional 23. There are 7 in their sectional. Their sectional will happen right here at Logansport High School. Their first game going to start on Wednesday. It'll be a Wednesday game. That'll be the only game that evening. It's going to be May 27th on a Wednesday. That's a 5 o'clock start. Check your local listings to make sure you get here at the proper time. That's going to be Twin Lakes Indians and the Western Panthers. And that's going to be the 3rd time they've played this season. Right now, they are tied at 1 game each. Their first game went 8 innings. So they got the win. That was Twin Lakes 9-8, I believe. But I will also mention on Thursday, the 28th, next day on the 28th of May, it's going to be Mechaniqua and West Lafayette. I have my local listings here. It says 5 o'clock, but please check yours. And then also on Thursday, the 28th, it's going to be the Peru Tigers and the Logansport Berries. That'll be right after the Mechaniqua game, probably about 30 to 40 minutes between games. That's going to be a 7 o'clock start time. And then they'll come back on Saturday. The other team that drew the bye, that is Northwestern. It'll be a 3 o'clock game, and they will either play Twin Lake or Western. And we'll mention the championship game for Sectional 23 going to happen also on Monday, June 1st. And I have down here as a 5 o'clock start for the championship game. And we'll also mention the principal at Logansport High School is Michael Miller, the athletic director. He is instrumental. What a gentleman. Brian Strong. He also helps with the IHSAA function. And we'll mention the athletic secretary is Sabrina Guire. She is quite nice to work with on telephone. And the athletic trainer is Sydney Latham. Logansport High School is located at 1 Berry Lane. It's actually on Felix Trail. And then Logansport, Indiana, 46947. You can dial them up at 574-753-0441. On the web, it's Berry Athletics, plural.com. The weather colors, red and black. They perform in the Hoosier Conference. And we'll mention the head coach is Coach Dan Fry. Dan Fry, and we'll also mention The Logansport Berries currently 17 wins, 9 losses on the season. They've got a 3-game win streak intact. They are 11-8 at home. They're 5-1 on the road, and they're 1-0 on a neutral site. And Will mentioned they're getting ready to play a sectional here in about a week, not too far in the distant future. And Will mentioned their plus 3-game win streak included Bremen, Oak Hill, in Peru. The Peru game, a 6-5 contest. And they are also a foe in the Logansport section. So they're introducing the lineups right now. Public address. He is definitely professional. He does a tremendous job, spends quality time doing what he's doing right now. And they're mentioning the starting lineups right now for the Logansport Bears. Knights have already been introduced. They're lining up where they're going to play. They got 3 across the pitcher's rubber. They're going to have 3 middle part of the infield and 3 outfielders. And the Knights are all lined up on the first baseline. And we're going to stand right now at attention and observe our national anthem. We'll set this down. Star Spangled Banner national anthem. It was instrumental. And when the Star Spangled Banner national anthem is playing, everybody in the whole place are on the same page. It might not last a long time, but they definitely are. So right now, we'll mention Logansport Berries. They're going to take the field. Home plate umpire going to shake hands with Grady Alexander, catcher for Logansport. And we'll mention doing the pitching today for Logansport Berries is Cooper Jones. Cooper Jones wears number 15, is a member of the sophomore class. Knights saw him about 8 days ago. Cooper Jones, he's got an ERA of 2.08, 33 and 2/3 innings. He's got 5 wins, 1 loss. This is appearance number 9. He's allowed 33 hits, 15 runs, only 10. 10 of those runs were earned. He's walked 4. He's struck out 19 batters. He's faced 140 batters. He's thrown a total of 479 pitches. He has 1 of the 4 balks on the pitching staff, and he's hit 2 batters along the way. So he's working the breaking pitch. I look up, I see the breaking pitch. And we'll mention around the infield for Logansport, their catcher is Grady Alexander, wears number 1. First base, Camden Chapman, number 10. Second base, Taylor Albright, number 14. At shortstop, number 9, Aaron Franco. At third base, it's Jose Portilla, was number 7. In left field, number 16, Blake Pearson. In center field, number 18, Bryson Herr. And in right field, number 2, Hudson Shank. Stepping in for the Knights, first batter, leadoff batter in today's game, Isaiah Hopkins. 12:03 p.m. First shot, you're going to pop it up skyward. It's playable. It's going to be a fair ball. It's going to be called for by Cooper Jones, the pitcher. And he'll make the catch about 20 feet from home plate. So Hopkins disappointed on the pop-up. He'll go back to the dugout. He'll bat again for sure, maybe 3, 4 more times. So stepping in for Central Catholic, two-hitter, number 2, Coy Gick. Coy Gick, center fielder for the night. Working the windup, both feet on the rubber. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Jones. Swung on, he'll foul this one back out of play. So Knight's aggressive here in early going. Looking at that first pitch, thinking that Cooper Jones wants to get ahead in the count. So he's bringing the fastball, first 2 pitches. Here comes the second pitch to Coy Gick. He's going to hit one to left field. He's going to get the gap. It's going to drop a base hit. He's going to go for 2. Going for second base, he'll slide in uncontested. And Coy Gick has a 2-base hit, and the Knights have a runner in scoring position with 1 out. So the Knights are going to step in with number 12, 3-hitter Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer stepping in. Looking at signals from Coach Bournet, very few given, if any. So sliding mid, he jogged over, got the sliding mid. Coy Gick now at second base. Ball's made live. Top of the first inning, looking for another good game. These 2 teams play good baseball together. So left-handed batter's box. Alex Schumer out of the set. Cooper Jones checks second base. Couple times. Here's the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. No balls, 1 strike. Top of the first, everybody getting here somewhat early. Baseball on a Saturday afternoon. So Alex Schumer, they're playing him to pull in right field. As center fielder Bryson Kerr out of the set, checks second base. Here's the pitch. Pitch comes in just above the zone. Nope, he's going to call a strike. He's going to call a strike quickly at home plate. We're going to have to be patient to see his signal because we are unavailable to hear. I'm basically in a silent movie right here with headphones on. So peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch, now the set. Check second base. Cooper Jones, here's the pitch. Mid full swing. Second base. Midfielder there covering first base well is Cooper Jones. Cooper Jones covered the first base well off the pitcher's rubber, and it was fielded by second baseman Taylor Albright. And Cooper Jones takes the throw. There are 2 outs. But in the meantime, Coy Gick moves to third base. So Knights runner at third base, stepping in for the Knights. 4-hitter number 30, Gus Sandberg. DH. He's going to pitch from the windup again. Cooper Jones. Here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in. Outside edge. We're going to have to be sincerely patient here as broadcasters to call the strikes and the balls. If he has a delayed reaction, I've seen that at Victory Field. Had a difficult time that day. So hearing it and looking at signal. Out of the wind, here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch. You're going to be a called strike. Didn't need help with the position umpire on the check swing. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Coy Gick started the game, 2-hitter with a double. He's at third base for the night. Outside a ball, and I should mention Cooper Jones must have thought it was a strike. He was walking towards the dugout. And I'm glad they're not going to call pitches out there today. Here comes the pitch. Going to take one to right field. Going to be a foul ball. It's going to be in the field of play. It'll drop. And it might have bounced out of play. Giving it a good look in right field was Hudson Shank. Hudson Shank, he'll bat first for the Logansport Berries in the bottom of the first inning. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Top of the first inning. Let's have a runner at third base. It's Coy Gick stepping back in. Here's Gus Sandberg. Here and in, looking at signals. Here comes the wind. Here comes the pitch. High and tight, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sandberg steps back in. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Runner at third base for the night. Top of the first. Working out a windup. Cooper Jones. Here comes the wind. Here's the pitch. Swung on, ground ball. Second base, Taylor Albright. He'll field it. He'll throw next door and get the put out with Camden Chapman. And the Knights are out of the inning, but they give 1 hit. They leave 1 on base. We'll go to the bottom of the first inning. Knights no score. Berries going to come to the plate. We do thank you for tuning in, and I will mention coming up, as you know, tomorrow going to be the Indianapolis 500, the 110th edition, and we are heavy in hearts for Kyle Busch and his family. Kyle Busch, if you didn't know, he drove car number 18. Car number 18, both of his Brickyard 400 wins. He was wearing car number 18. I found out on the news last night that lap number 18 tomorrow will be dedicated to Kyle Busch. And we hope the best. And what a gentleman. Way too early at 41 years old. And again, we'll let you know the game is in part being brought to you by Robin's Nest. Robin's Nest, we'll talk about that in a moment. First, we'll let you know doing the pitching in this ball game for Central Catholic is Caden Keller. Caden Keller wears number 21. Caden Keller is a member of the junior class. Caden Keller wears 21. He's got an ERA of 1.690. He's got 29 innings under his belt. This is game appearance number 9. This is start number 7. He's faced a total number of batters. That's 124, 450 pitches. He's got 3 wins, 1 loss. He's given up 22 hits, 9 runs. 7 of those runs were earned. He has walked 13 batters. He struck out 35 batters. 7 of those batters went down looking, and he's hit 2 batters along the way. So I'm going to throw one down, second base. Tonight's defensively will line up a catcher, Isaiah Hopkins, number 34. At first base, number 19, Colton Geyer. At second base, number 11, Mikey Stapleton. At shortstop, number 3, L.J. Whitford. Third base, Alex Schumer wears number 12. In left field, number 41, Brennan Van Kirk. In center field, number 2, Coy Gick. And in right field, number 5, Colton Minnick. Stepping in, Hudson Shank. First pitch from Keller. Swung on, swing and a miss. No balls, 1 strike. Pat back in, right-handed batter. Hudson Shank plays right field. Here's the pitch. High and outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pat back in, working from the wind up. Here's the pitch. Outside of ball, just missed. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Hudson Shank. Here's the wind. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Ground ball, shortstop. L.J. Whitford fields it. Throws across the diamond. Gets the put out with Colton Geyer. And there's 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. So stepping in, we're going to see Logansport Berry, number 14, Taylor Albright. Taylor Albright has already been busy at second base. He'll step in, right-handed batter. Working from the windup, Colton Geyer, peering over the glove. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch, high and away. You're not going to call that a strike. Got to be patient. I am not the umpire. He is definitely the only umpire. Here comes the pitch. Swung on. He'll be shot over shortstop. Couldn't reach it, L.J. Whitford. He goes into left field, a base hit for Albright. And Brendan Van Kirk tosses it back in. So 1 aboard, both teams with a hit in the first inning. Stepping in with 1 out for the Berries, number 16, Blake Pearson. He is the left fielder. So minus lead at first base for Albright. Here comes the first pitch. Swung on, foul ball, back to the screen. It's number 16, Blake Pearson, left fielder for the Logansport Berries. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of stretch. Now the set. Checks first base. Here's the pitch. Pitch comes in. Strike called. Outside edge. Count goes 0-2 to Pearson. He'll step back in. Another right-handed batter. Peering in, looking out of stretch. Now the set. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Low for a ball. Good block there. The short hop block by Isaiah Hopkins. Going to keep Albright at first base. Peering in, looking at signal. Out of stretch, now the set position. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Pearson, outside of ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Working on that release point, trying to duplicate the release point. Caden Keller out of set. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, foul ball, back to the screen. So again, a 2-2 count. With Caden Keller, he'll peer in, look at signals out of the threat. Blake Pearson, the batter. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball. Going to go second base. Mikey Stapleton fields it. He'll go to first base, get the out there. There are 2 outs. And Taylor Albright moves over to second base. So next batter, we're going to see the 4-hitter. 4-hitter is going to be the DH, Braylon Ritchie. 8 days ago, he stepped in first time, home run to left center field. He's got a good swing, a hand over fist. My dad tells me that a good swing, a hand over fist, the byproduct is a home run. Here comes the pitch, outside of ball. So 1 ball, no strikes, 2 out. Bottom of the first inning. Peering in, looking at signals. Caden Keller out of the stretch. Might have changed his signal there, might not. Out of a set position. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. This comes in. Outside edge called strike. So that strike signal, that was invented years ago. It was for the outfield. It was so the outfield could know what the pitch was. Here comes a pitch, and it's going to go out of play. Foul ball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. So 1-2, he'll step back in. Braylon Rich, quick bat, gets those hands through the zone in a heartbeat. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Covering at second base. Mikey Stapleton, here's the pitch. Outside edge, strike called. So he'll go down looking, and the Knights get out of the inning. Logansport Berries, they get 1 hit. They also leave 1 aboard. After 1 complete inning, there's no score. Central Catholic and Logansport. And we'll also mention today's ball game. Today's ball game is in parts being brought to you by the ultimate Kentucky getaway. You can escape to a one-of-a-kind retreat in the heart of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, where rolling hills, world-famous distilleries, and unforgettable memories await. Welcome to your private 6-bedroom estate. It's set on 7 scenic acres of peaceful countryside. You can spend your days exploring legendary bourbon stops, then come home to unwind in the hot tub under the stars. Challenge your friends to a game of pool on the billiards table, or practice your swing on the putting green, or relax by the fire pit as the night sets in. And when it's time to wind down, your private movie theater room is waiting. Whether it's a bourbon weekend, family gathering, or group getaway, there's space and something for everyone. No crowds, no stress, just comfort, connection, and the true spirit of Kentucky. For questions or direct bookings, check 317-442-7513. Stepping in, batting for the Knights, Mikey Stapleton. First pitch, ground ball, third base, can be fielded by Jose Portilla. The throw across the diamond. He'll get the put out with Camden Chapman. And there's 1 out here in the top of the second inning. So the Knights are going to step in with Caden Keller. Caden Keller, left-handed batter for the Knights. Where's number 21? He's doing the pitching in today's ball game. But working from the windup, Cooper Jones. Here comes the wind. Here comes the pitch. It comes in knee high, inside edge, called strike. No balls, 1 strike to Keller. Cooper Jones, sophomore athlete. Here comes the wind. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. Count goes 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to Keller. Wearing batting glove. A little bit of an open stand. Here in, looking at signals out of the wind. Here comes the wind and the 0-2 ball. Swung on, ground ball, first base. Good glove there, right down the line. Fair ball. Camden Chapman. Chapman steps on first base, and there are 2 outs. So far, this game kind of reminded me of the Western Boone game versus Twin Lakes. It was last week. Take that back. That was earlier this week. It was an 80-minute game. Here comes a pitch from Jones. Outside edge called strike. In the batter's box for Central Catholic, the 7-hitter, number 5, Colton Minnick. Colton Minnick last week, 8 days ago, got 2 hits versus Cooper Jones on this diamond. In full swing, foul ball is just underneath the baseball, not to the screen. So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Just step back in, right-handed batter, Colton Minnick, a member of the junior class. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch. It'll be strike 3. He'll go down looking. Pretty good breaking pitch. Had some good drop to it. And the Knights are out of the inning. Again, no runs, no hits, and nobody left on base. And after 1.5, it's a 0-0 contest. And again, we'll also mention about the Indianapolis 500 tomorrow, the 110th 2026 edition. Pole sitter, Alex Pillow. Alex Pillow, 232. I think it was 232.484 or 248, something like that. But he's the pole sitter. And I got to mention, all those speeds on all the cars, they are fractions of a second apart from each other. And we'll also mention Alexander Rossi. He's going to play tomorrow. He's actually going to run in the 500. He'll be in the middle of the first row. And we'll mention David Malukas. He'll be on the outside of the first row. And Elio Castroneves will be starting at the number 15 position. And starting at the 27th position, a female, Catherine Legg. Catherine Legg was in the 227 category. That's amazing. And just to remind you that Danica Patrick is the only female race car driver in the Indianapolis 500 that has led any laps. I think they said she led 2 laps back when she ran. So she's doing a lot of commercials now. Does a good job. So stepping in for Logansport, going to be number 15, Cooper Jones. He's the 5-hitter. He's doing the pitching in today's ball game. We'll step in, right-handed batter's box. Working from the windup, Peyton Keller, first pitch. Outside of ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 5-hitter, number 15, Cooper Jones. Here comes a second pitch. Swung on and fouled this one right side, out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. I should mention Logansport Berry is wearing the patriotic jerseys. They're red, white, and blue. They're stripes. They look very nice. Swung on, foul ball. He'll pull this one to the foul fence, past the Logansport third base dugout. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Knights playing it straight away. Regular depth on the infield, straight away in the outfield. 1-2 count. Out straight, wind up. Here comes the pitch. Low for a ball. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Steps back in. Here's the wind and the pitch. Ground ball. Third base, Alex Schumer. Room service hop again. He'll throw to first base. They'll get the out. There's a little bit of a collision at first base. But in umpire school, umpire class, if nothing happened bad there, it's just a crash. They call that a crash. So 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. So 1 out stepping in for Logansport. Number 10, Camden Chapman, the first baseman. A little bit of an open stand. Out of the wide, here's the pitch. Outside and tall, ball 1. 1 ball, no strike. 1 out. Bottom of the second inning. Here comes the wide. Here comes the pitch to Chapman. He'll take one to right field. He's going to back up. Minnick. He's going to look up. It's going to 1 bounce the wall there. It's going to end up a stand up. He's going to slide in. He could have stood up, but a 2-base hit. off the bat of Camden Chapman, first baseman. They got a lot of that one. There was probably no right fielder that was going to catch that ball. So working from the stretch now, stepping in, left-handed batter, number 1, Grady Alexander. He does the catching for the Berries. So peering into their signal. Now the stretch, now the set. The check second base. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 foot in, 1 foot out, looking for signals. No signals given. Third base coach. Now the set position. Keller. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Low for ball 2. Good block again by Isaiah Hopkins. Isaiah's going to call time. He's going to spend his one trip to the pitcher's mound here in this half inning. Have a little bit of a communication right there with Caden Keller. Caden Keller has mentioned a junior class member. Isaiah Hopkins, a classmate of Caden Keller, both juniors by class. Home plate umpires want them to break it up. They'll walk out a few steps, and they will break it up. So jogging back behind the dish is going to be Isaiah Hopkins. Stepping in once again is Grady Alexander. 2 balls, no strikes. Ball's made live. Runner at second base is Chapman. He got a double. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball. Shortstop. L.J. Whitford fields it, throws it across the diamond, gets the put out with Colton Geyer. I will mention L.J. Whitford was kind of hovering. He wasn't totally in his shortstop position. He might have been inching towards second base, but he had to move to his right and made a good play. 2 outs. So stepping in, we're going to see number 7, 8 hitter Jose Portilla. He's playing third base in this ball game. Here comes the first pitch. Swung on, he'll pop it, foul territory. Right side is going to float out of play. This field has the backstop. I'm guessing the estimated 30 feet to the backstop from home plate. It goes around. It kind of bevels off when you get past the dugouts. And that ball just did get in foul territory out of bounds. So peering in, looking at signals. Caden Keller, here comes the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss or a foul ball. He's going to call it a strike. So no foul ball. Count goes 0-2 to Jose Portilla. Portilla, right-handed batter, will step back in. Runner at third base for Logansport is Chapman. That's Camden Chapman, first baseman. Out of set, Keller. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. Protecting the zone. Watching that outside fastball, and that's going to complete the second inning of play. Logansport, they get a 2-base hit off the bat of Camden Chapman. They strand him at third base. So after 2 complete innings, still no score. And I will also mention, bringing you this game today is Camino and Company. Camino and Company, they welcome you in your patronage. Camino and Company, the mobile flower shop and wedding studio based in downtown Noblesville. You'll find Camino and Company on the north side of the courthouse square at 876 Logan Street. Camino and Company, they started with a dream and grew with the love of the local community. That same love for stories and celebrations now lives in Camino Coffee. Camino Coffee, coffee with a story. Every cup is inspired by our founder's grandpa, 1984 El Camino. And El Camino is owned by V.E. Witham. V.E. Witham is the grandpa of Camino and Company owner. It's Carly Witham, El Brett. And Camino and Company gets its name. That's where they get it. Their coffee is locally roasted by friends, next door friends. That's coffee. That's noble coffee and tea. Each cup carries a little piece of their journey along with their community and the belief that coffee comes the story. So regardless if it's morning, afternoon, or just a moment you need to pause, you can get your cup of coffee. Just go to Hey Camino That's heycamino.com. Stepping in, LJ Whitford, 8-hitter for the Knights. He wears number 3. It comes in, full cut, swing and miss. I take that back. It'll be a foul ball back to the screen. He's right on time and just underneath the baseball. So we'll step back in, 0-1 count. First batter for the Knights here in the top of the 3rd inning. Here and in, looking at signals out of the windup. Cooper Jones. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Swung on, pop it up. Playable. Might be a fair ball. It will be. And Cooper Jones catches his second pop-up here in this early ball game. So they're 1 out. Top of the 3rd inning. Stepping in for the Knights, 9-hitter number 41, Brennan Van Kirk, left fielder. Right-handed batter. Here and in, looking at signal. Out of the windup, first pitch to Van Kirk. He's going to pop it up. It's going to go float out of play. Behind home plate. Goes out of play. It's an 0-1 count to Van Kirk. On deck for the Knights is number 34, Isaiah Hopkins. No balls, 1 strike. Knights are swinging early in the count. Today's ball game. Here and in, looking at signals. Now the windup. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Jones. Breaking pitch. Good break. Strike called. Pretty good placement right there by Cooper Jones with the breaking pitch. Righty facing a righty. No balls, 2 strikes. Brennan Van Kirk. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Breaking pitch outside. Count goes 1-2 to Van Kirk. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Knights batting in the top of the 3rd inning. Both games last weekend, this one playing right here at Jim Turner Field. It'll be a foul ball, right side, out of play. Staying in that count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Step in with 1-2 count, I believe, 3rd time. Looking now the windup. Here and in, looking at signal. Cooper Jones. Here comes the wind. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's going to be a hit by pitch. Going to get him on the elbow. He did lift his arm. And I think Coach Dan Fry might be coming out wondering if he tried to make an attempt to get out of the way. But he did flinch. If you move in the slightest, it's a hit by pitch. Now, we saw Mikey Stapleton get hit by pitch. Home plate umpire is going to go out and converse with the infield umpire and ask what he saw. And we'll see if they'll change his call, but I doubt it. They'll talk just to be socializing, and they'll keep Brennan Van Kirk at first base. So next batter, we're going to see Isaiah Hopkins bat for the 2nd time. Isaiah Hopkins, 25 games. He's played in all 25. 90 plate appearances, 65 at-bat. Isaiah Hopkins batting .385 in that right-handed batter's box at .539 on-base percentage. He's got 25 hits out of set position. Cooper Jones. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch. With snap throw to first base, back safely. The pitch is called a strike. Breaking pitch got the outside edge. Count goes 0-1. Hopkins steps back in. We've mentioned 8 days ago, Grady Alexander has a tremendous strong arm for the Berries. Out of the set position, Cooper Jones. Checks first base. Here's the pitch. Outside with a fastball. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out. Well, maybe two radio stations covering this game. To my left is Joe. Joe working the radio station with the frequency. Here comes the pitch. Going to pop one up. It's going to float back out of play. Alexander gives it a good look. Going to get the top of the press box. Sounded a little bit like thunder. But they get the top of the box and it rolls down in front. Saw it go by. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out. Brennan Van Kirk is at first base for the Knights. He drew a hit by pitch with a 1-2 count. 2nd time. Might have been 3rd time. Stepping back in, Isaiah Hopkins. Out of the set. Cooper Jones. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. taking off for second base. Alexander going to make the throw, sliding in. The throw was good. It bounced in there, and they're going to call him safe at second base. They'd have called him out. Brendan would have been right back in the dugout. It's just the kind of guy he is. No nonsense, kind gentleman. He plays left field. Brendan Van Kirk. So 2-2 count. So Van Kirk picks up the steal, and Van Kirk has 6 steals on the season. Now the set position, Cooper Jones. Checks second base. Here's the pitch. Swung on, ground ball. Just foul. Just foul of the base. Home plate umpire, hands in the air immediately. And it'll be another 1-2 count. Isaiah Hopkins. Hopkins on the season, as mentioned, 25 hits, 16 are singles. He's got 7 doubles, no triples. He has 2 home runs. So at second base, Brendan Van Kirk is 1 out. Top of the 3rd inning. Here comes a 2-2. Swung on, same type of hit, but fair. Fair down the left field line. It ends up in the corner. Scoring from second base is Brendan Van Kirk. And Isaiah Hopkins has a 2-base hit and an RBI. So base hit, 2-base hit. Number 8 on the season for Van Kirk. And picks up his 12th RBI. So 1 run on the scoreboard. We're early going. Timeout on the diamond. Coach Dan Fry going to walk out and talk with his infield. Next batter in the lineup, due up, is going to be Coy Dick. And we'll mention, we'll talk about IU, the 76 team, IU legacy. Former Indiana University basketball players, Bobby Wilkerson, wore number 20. Kent Benson wore number 54. They are working together and blending their efforts to promote the IU 1976 Team Legacy Initiative. They are celebrating their 50th anniversary. Indiana University basketball, undefeated basketball season, truly historic moment. Supporting this campaign helps honor the standard of excellence and keeps that proud legacy alive through events, media, and outreach, I should say. And you can go to the GoFundMe page. The GoFundMe is totally for the 76 team 50th anniversary. You can go to GoFund.me/BC32B9BD8. GoFund.me/BC32B9BD8. That's the 1976 IU men's basketball team. And they are still the last undefeated national champion in men's NCAA Division I college basketball. And if you want to capture an interview with Kent Benson, 22 minutes, you can contact Coach Fred Rogers in that first base dugout. Fred Rogers, 51 years. He's kept that for Purdue basketball. And that's amazing. He sits right there front row. 51 years. So stepping in, Coy Dick. There's 1 out. Runner at second base is Isaiah Hopkins. Out of set, here's the pitch from Jones. Swung on, going to pop it, foul, out of play. Coy Dick batting for the night. Step back in. He's the 2-hitter for the night. He's played in 23 games, batting .283 in that right-handed batter's box. Stepping off the back is Cooper Jones. That's in 59 plate appearances, 46 at-bats. He has a .370 on-base percentage. Peering in, looking at singles, outstretched. Now the set position. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to get. Breaking pitch above the zone, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's been 2 hits in the ball game by each team. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. Knights have 1 run in. Peering in, looking at single. Out of stretch, a long pier. Dick not going to call timeout. Out of set. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and foul ball, out of play. Coy Dick making contact He's a little disappointed that he hasn't squared up on the baseball to that aluminum bat. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out on deck for the night is Alex Schumer. Peering in with the signals out of the stretch. Cooper Jones. As mentioned, Cooper Jones, a lot of upside for him. Here comes the pitch. Going to take it to right field. Is it going to drop in? Coming in a long way, making a good catch is Hudson Shank. And they'll throw to third base. The ball's going to get by third base, and they're going to get in a rundown. Isaiah Hopkins, they thought they might take third. Ball's off the back. So the ball's off the back, and they had the umpire put out the delayed dead ball. He was going to be safe anyway because the ball hit the back of Isaiah Hopkins as he was heading back to second base. He had to put the brakes on, Isaiah did, about 10, 15 feet from third base and head back the other direction. He got in a rundown. And Coach Dan Fry going out to make a trainer type of visit with his shortstop. Nothing wrong with that. You're going to have a couple of words with the infield umpire. But a thrown pitch off the back, and I wasn't quite sure that warranted a delayed. I'm not sure. I have to look that up. But he is the umpire. He's passed the test. I know it's 100 questions. They're all multiple choice. But the IHSAA tries to put some stumpers in there, something that you would think would be a different answer. They're not all cut and dry answers. I didn't pass that test. It's an open test, open book. You got all year. You got 5 questions a day. I took that test the day before I had to turn it in. I didn't get to look in the book. Here comes a pitch to Schumer. Going to get by the glove of Alexander. It's going to be a wild pitch. You're going to throw it to third base, sliding in safe. Head first is Isaiah Hopkins. So 1 ball, no strikes. Knights again have a runner at third base with 2 out. So stepping in, 1-0 count. Alex Schumer. Schumer's played all 25 games. He's batting .382. Here comes a pitch. Pitch comes in, outside edge, called strike. That goes 1-1. Schumer has 94 plate appearances entering this game, 68 at bats, as mentioned, .382 batting average, .527 on base. He's got 26 hits. Here comes a pitch, and there's going to be an outside pitch, ball 2. Count goes 2-1. Knight's total hits on the season is led by Mikey Stapleton. He has 30. Player to get to 30. Working from the windup. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. High for ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. Alex Schumer, pretty much the best eye at the plate on the team with 21 base on balls. In 25 games, here comes the pitch. It comes in. And it's going to be a called strike. 3-2 count. You can't freeze the pitcher. Pitcher deserves some love once in a while. 3-2 count, 2 outs. Here comes the wind. Here comes the pitch. It'll be low. Breaking pitch. Finished in the dirt. Good block there by Grady Alexander. And Alex Schumer picks up base on ball number 22 on the season. He's at first base. Isaiah Hopkins is at third base. So the Knights going to step in with the 4-hitter, Gus Sandberg. Sandberg is the DH in the ball game. He's batting in place of defensive player, first baseman, number 19, Colton Geyer. Working out a stretch, now the set. Here comes the first pitch to Sandberg. Swung on back up the middle. Going to be a base hit. Scoring from third base is Isaiah Hopkins. And Gus Sandberg picks up a base hit and an RBI. Gus Sandberg picking up RBI number 16 on the season and his 12th base hit. And now with 18 hits on the season, that's Gus Sandberg. So stepping in, Mikey Stapleton. Mikey Stapleton wears number 11. He's playing second base, bats in the 5 spot. Mikey Stapleton, he's played in all 25 games. 88 plate appearances, 69 at bats, batting 435, a 540 on base percentage. Albacete, Cooper, Jones, here's the pitch. Pitch comes in just above the zone, ball one. So 1 ball, no strikes. Here and in, out of the stretch. Cooper Jones along Pier. Grady Alexander reflecting the signal. Here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in, strike called. A good vertical frame right there by Grady Alexander. Gets the called strike. It looked a bit low, but Grady, he probably earned that strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out. 2 on base for the night, first and second base. Sandberg at first, Schumer at second. Here comes the pitch. Gonna be a shot to right field, a base hit. Be picked up by Hudson Shank. And the Knights are going to come around to score from second base, Alex Schumer. So Schumer picks up the run and a base hit, RBI off the bat of Mikey Stapleton. Mikey Stapleton picks up his 22nd base hit of the season and number 31. Yeah, he's got 22 RBI on the season. So the Knights have 3 runs in here in the top of the third inning. Stepping in, Caden Keller. They have runners at first and third base. Stapleton at first. Sandberg at third. There's 2 outs. Out of set position, Cooper Jones. It's hit first. Here's the pitch. Swung on, popping to right field. Shank has a beat on it. And it's going to be Hudson Shank making the catch just out in front of the warning track. And the Knights are out of the inning, but not before. They pick up 3 runs. They leave 2 on base. And after 2.5, Knights 3, Barry 0. And Barry's going to bat in the bottom of the third inning. We'll also mention today's ball game is in part being brought to you by McCormick Printing and Office Supply. Hey, baseball fans, let's give a cheer for one of our amazing local sponsors, McCormick Printing Impressions and Office Supply. For more than 5 decades, MPI has been the go-to place for everything printed. That's posters, programs, shirts, they make signs, and all of the office supplies you could ever need. Family owned, community minded, and always ready to help you knock your next project out of the park. That's McCormick Printing Impressions, where quality and service are always a home run. That's McCormick Printing Impressions. And I will mention they're in Tipton. You can dial them up at 765 675 9556. I know a little bit about them in-house. I know a little bit. I know they just purchased a printing company that was based in Kokomo. They printed that company. They got the rights to it, but they're going to stay. McCormick Printing is going to stay in Tipton, but still utilize their decision to purchase that company. So they throw one down to second base. Isaiah Hopkins taking the throw. Shortstop L.J. Whitford going to step into bat right here for the Logansport Bears. Going to be the center fielder, number 18, Bryson Herb. He'll foul the first offering back out of play from Keller. The no balls, 1 strike. Going to choke up just a little bit off that knob. Left-handed batter. Bryson Herb, he is a center fielder. Here comes a pitch. In a full swing, going to get him in the box. He'll foul it off. It'll bounce up, get him on the arm. And home plate umpire right now calls it a foul ball. No balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. First batter for Logansport. Bottom of the third inning. Here comes the pitch from Keller. Breaking pitch, got the dish. With that 2 o'clock arm slot, diagonally got the outside edge. Called strike. And there's 1 out. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. For stepping in, second time, Hudson Shank. Shank has played in 25 games. He played 26. Here comes the pitch, outside edge. I should say outside ball one. Hudson Shank, 97 plate appearances. And that leads the team. He is the leadoff batter. Ground ball, shortstop. Isaiah Hopkins backhands it across the diamond. Frozen rope. And Colton Geyer takes a throw. And he might have taken a little bit on the foot right there. But there are 2 outs. So stepping in, we're going to see the 2-hitter, number 14, Taylor Albright. He's played in all 26 games, 95 plate appearances, 80 at-bats. He's batting .338. First pitch, foul ball, back to the screen. Taylor Albright. No balls, 1 strike. .338, a .411 on-base percentage. He has 27 hits on the season. Here's the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. Taylor Albright, 27 hits, 22 are singles. He has 3 doubles, 1 triple, and 1 home run. He's a right-handed batter. Here comes the pitch. Outside a ball. A little bit of a fishing pitch. That goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Taylor Albright. Out of the line, Caden Keller. Inside. That was tight. He got out of the way. He definitely would have been hit by pitch if he'd have wanted to be. So he'll step back in a 2-2 count. Pretty good athletic move to avoid that hit by pitch. Here and in, looking at single. Out of the windup, Caden Keller. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball, second base, Mikey Stapleton. He'll backhand it. The throw next door, get the put out with Colton Geyer. And the Berries are out of the inning. They send 3 to the plate. They come up with no hits, nobody left on base. After 3 complete innings, Central Catholic 3, Logansport 0. And again, we do thank you for tuning in. And I will mention this game is in parts being brought to you by Robin's Nest. It's Robin's, that's with a Z, and it's singular. Robin's Nest, Thorntown's Cozy Coffee Cafe. They've got private event space to rent. They also do catering. They have a very nice coffee cafe. Check them out. They're on Main Street at 102 West Main Street, Thorntown, Indiana. They serve breakfast. They have hot breakfast and cold. They have lunch and a hot lunch and cold. And but they do not stay open for evening meal. I believe they close about 2:00. You can find them on Gmail. Robins, that's a Z, Robins Nest Cafe at gmail.com. So tonight's going to send to the plate second time. Number 7 hitter, that's number 5, Colton Minnick. Colton Minnick going to step in. Colton Minnick batting .250 in that right-handed box. .333 on base. First pitch comes in tight. Ball 1. Colton Minnick, he has 24 plate appearances, 20 at bat. He's played in 21 games for the Knights. He's got 15 runs scored. Here comes the wind, the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, foul ball. They pulled a foul ball out in front of the third base dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike to Minnick. He got 5 hits, 4 are singles. He's got 1 double. He's got 3 home runs. Let me change that. 3 RBI. Breaking pitch in there called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Right-handed batter, Colton Minnick. Colton Minnick. Here comes the wind. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on. He'll foul it right side, way out of the protected zone. He'll stay in that box. 1-2 count to Colton Minnick. There's no outs. First batter for the Knights here in the top of the 4th inning. Here and in, looking at the signal. Out of the windup, going to call time. Colton Minnick going to call time. Long set, you can see Cooper Jones. He has that glove lower down near the belly button. He gets the signal he wants. Then he lifts the glove to about his chest, and you know he's getting ready to pitch. Here comes the wind. Here comes the pitch. A ground ball at the middle glove by the pitcher. Glove right there by Cooper Jones. He'll jog towards first and underhand it to get the out with Camden Chapman. 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. So the Knights are going to step in with L.J. Whitford. L.J. Whitford, he plays the shortstop position. He's batting in the 8th spot. L.J. Whitford going to step in. He's played in all 25 games. 97 plate appearances, 77 at bats, batting .247. That right-handed batter's box. He'll take a first pitch outside, ball 1. So L.J. Whitford is on base percentage, .375. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Jones. Fastball, outside edge, strike called. Count goes 1-1. L.J. Whitford's got 19 hits, 13 singles, 5 doubles. No triples. He has 1 home run. Here comes the pitch from Jones. Breaking pitch, right across the dish. Count goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out. Top of the 4th inning. Knights got 3 in the top of the 3rd. That's our score. This comes in, short hop block. Good slide to his right. Grady Alexander. Grady Alexander. Pretty good catcher. Grady Alexander. Stopping the baseball. Working out the windup. Here comes the 2-up, going to call time. L.J. Whitford. A lot of concentration time. Still looking for the signal. Glove was not at the chest level. So peering in, now it is. Here comes the wind. Here comes the 2-2. Swung on. You're going to pop it up on the infield. Going to be called for by the second baseman. Taylor Albright makes the catch. There are 2 outs. 2 outs on the diamond. Stepping in for the Knights going to be number 41, Brennan Van Kirk. Van Kirk, left fielder. Van Kirk going to step in. He's played in all 25 games, 82 plate appearances, 73 at-bats. Batting .315. A right-handed batter's box. First pitch to Van Kirk. Going to be called strike on the inside edge. No balls, 1 strike to Van Kirk. The 23 hit. 21 are singles. He had 2 doubles. Here comes the pitch. This comes in. Strike. They're going to call that a strike. It must have been a vertical frame. And no ball, 2 strikes to Van Kirk. So Van Kirk, .378 on base percentage. Here comes the 0-2. Outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There are 2 out. Nobody on base. Knights looking for a hit in their 4th inning. Van Kirk, he has 16 RBI. He has scored 18 runs for the Knights. He has scored in this game. Here comes the pitch. Swung on. He's going to take a foul ball out of play. Right side. So 1 ball, 2 strikes again to Brennan Van Kirk. Here and in, looking at single. Out of the windup. Glove low, glove high. Here comes the pitch. Comes the 1-2 pitch. You're going to let it go by, and he's going to take strike 3. And the Van Kirk disappointed. Killed the snake. But anyway, my dad didn't let me do that. So we'll mention that after 3.5 innings, Knights come up with no runs, no hits. Nobody left on base. After 3.5 innings, Central Catholic 3, Logansport 0. The Berries are going to bat here in the bottom of the 4th inning. I will mention, we talked about this, I think, last game, National High School leaders. National High School leaders, I did mention, number 1 in the nation, batting average of .780. That's Willie Pena. But I did not mention number 1 in the state of Indiana for batting average. He's also number 38 in the nation. Tyler Burns. He's from Tri-County High School. Tri-County right there, Walcott, Indiana. He plays baseball, wears number 4. Plays basketball, wears number 10. He's a point guard and a shooting guard. And he also does cross country. In 16 games, batting average of .652. 30 hits, 20 are singles, 4 doubles, 3 triples. No home runs, 58 plate appearances, 46 at-bats. And I should mention, as a freshman, he hit his first home run. He's got 4 total. Did not hit a home run his sophomore or junior year. Here comes the first pitch, bottom of the fourth, by Caden Keller. Swing and a miss. In the batter's box for Logansport, number 16, Blake Pearson. Blake Pearson, right-handed batter. Bats in the 3 spot. He's going to take a drive to left field. Going to have some air under it. Brennan Van Kirk going to jog in, camp under it, and make the catch. There's 1 out. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. So next batter going to step in. Going to be number 12, Braylon Ritchie. He went down looking his first attempts in the batter's box here today. Looking out of the windup. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. A little bit off speed there by Keller. Pitch is being called from the dugout. Like transmitting wireless wire to the earpiece outside the ball into the ear of Isaiah Hopkins and Coach Bourdonnais. A transmitter can only be in the dugout. Here comes the pitch. Foul ball, out of play. Count goes 1-2. The Braylon Ritchie. Braylon Ritchie, the DH, he's batting in place of right fielder. I should say shortstop, number 9, Aaron Franklin. Here comes the pitch, the 1-2. Swung on and take it to right field. It's going to be a foul ball. Foul ball. It's going to land in the field of play. And Colton Minnick going to track it down. So they're going to go with that baseball. Nope. I've got Colton, should say Hayden Keller, going to get a different ball from the home plate umpire. And they'll throw that one in. 1-2 count. Working out of the windup. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, foul ball, back to the screen. So number 12, Braylon Ritchie. He's played in all 26 games, 90 plate appearances, 80 at-bats. He's batting .350 as the 4-hitter. Here comes the pitch. Outside the ball. Count goes 2-2. Braylon Ritchie, a .411 on base percentage. 28 hits, 15 singles, 8 doubles, 2 triples, and 3 home runs. And one of those home runs came 8 days ago right here. Foul ball. Back to the screen. He'll stay in that box again with a 2-2 count. Braylon Ritchie, 25 RBIs. He's tied with Taylor Albright. Pitch comes in, outside of ball, just missed. Count goes 3-2 to Ritchie. Payoff pitch, 1 out. Here comes the pitch. High above the zone, ball 4. So Braylon Ritchie going to jog down to first base. He'll pick up base on balls number 8 on the season. And stepping in to bat for Logansport. Number 15, Cooper Jones. As mentioned, right-handed batter. Jones has also played in all 26 games. 72 plate appearances, 68 at-bats. He's an aggressive hitter. Pitch comes in. Outside edge, strike called. No balls, 1 strike to Jones. He played .324, a .361 on base percentage. Here comes the second pitch. 2 o'clock arm slot. Going to be called a ball. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner at first base, he drew a walk. It's Braylon Ritchie. Logansport Berries. Bottom of the 4th, 1 out. You're going to take a shot to right center. Going to come in, going to make the catch. It's going to be Colton Minnick making the catch in right field. There are 2 outs. So with 2 outs, stepping in, going to be number 10, Camden Chapman. Chapman, his first at-bat, 2 base hit in center field. And he's going to step in again, right-handed bat. He played in 18 games. This is his 19th. Where's number 10? 56 plate appearances, 49 at-bats. First pitch to Chapman. Pitch comes in, outside edge, strike called. With Chapman, as mentioned, number 10, 204. His 204 average, 286 on base, outside of ball. That double going to increase that average right around 218, similar. Pitch comes in outside, 1-1 count. Chapman on the season has 10 hits, 7 singles, 2 doubles. He has a home run. He's going to take a shot right side out of play. He got a quick bat. He's a pretty good sized young man. He gets that bat through the zone quickly. Now goes 1-2, 2 outs. Hayden Keller peering in, looking at single. Lafayette, he'll look at first. Here comes the 1-2. Swung on, foul ball. He'll pull this one past the third base dugout. He's a right-handed batter. So 1-2 count, 2 out to Chapman. Chapman has 8 RBI in 18 games. He scored 6 runs. Lafayette, here comes the pitch. Foul ball back to the screen. Chapman in the midst of a quality at bat, fouling these pitches off. So Camden Chapman, he's been left on base 26 times this season. Time called. Home plate umpire was protecting the chaser. That's the catcher. Grady Alexander went back to the backstop, picked up that baseball. Home plate umpire, very astute. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Above the zone, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Braylon Ritchie at first base for the Berries. Peering in, looking at signals out the stretch. Now the set. Here comes the 2-2. Taking off for second base is Ritchie. Full swing, foul ball out in front of the Knights dugout. So 2 balls, 2 strikes again. Braylon Ritchie going to retreat back to first base with 2 out. 3-0 contest. Knights, as mentioned, got 3 in the top of the third. Albestead, here comes the pitch. Inside and tight. They're going to check his swing. I'm going to say he didn't go. It's a good check, but you got to get the home plate umpire involved. You ask for a check, but you need to ask him. But sometimes, they say that if the catcher asks for the pitch, that's kind of reminded the umpire. Here comes the pitch. Foul ball off the glove. Isaiah Hopkins nearly cleaned it. He is terribly disappointed. He couldn't clean that foul tip in the glove. It was above his glove. It got the top of the pocket. He wanted to catch it. So 3-2 count, 2 out. Here in looking at the signal. Hayden Keller looks at first base. Here's the pitch. It'll be a foul ball out of play. No, he fouled him off. As mentioned before, the MLB record for foul balls in one at bat used to be 14, but it's above that now. Here in looking at the signal. Hayden Keller. Albestead, here comes the 3-2 pitch. Swung on, you can foul another one. So baseball is a commodity here at Logansport. So Camden, Chapman, first baseman. I wish I'd have been counting. I'm sure the bookkeepers know. Here comes a 3-2 pitch. Swung on, he'll foul another one. Out of play. So if he were to happen to strike out looking, a home plate umpire going to have to give him a premium strike zone to call him strike 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 out. Out is that. Here comes the pitch. Excuse me. He takes it to right field. So he stays in the box, fouls him off, and then centers one up on the barrel of that bat, takes it into right field, drops it in, base hit. And moving around to third base is Braylon Ritchie. So with 2 outs and 2 aboard, stepping in for Logansport, 7-hitter, number 1, Grady Alexander. He is the catcher. Timeout on the diamond. Coach Bourdonnais going to walk out. Going to try to preserve this lead. He's going to talk to his infield. And we'll also mention this game is in part being brought to you by Scott G. That's Scott Gashaw. Scott Gashaw says, when time is good, when you share, you should. Share and share alike. Support Indiana Middle School and high school athletics. Also bringing you tonight's ball game, I should say today, start about noon, 12:03. Fritz and Fishers. Fritz and Fishers, you can hit a home run with a car from Fritz and Fishers. Fritz is knocking it out of the park with great deals this spring and summer. So slide on in and get a deal. You will be safe for sure at Fritz and Fishers. That's fritzandfishers.com. FRITZ. So stepping in, Grady Alexander. Logansport, runners at first and third base. Working from the stretch, out of the set, here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch, going to be a hit by pitch. Hit by pitch, it was inside. It was a breaking pitch. Nothing doing there as a breaking pitch going to load the bases. So lefty facing a lefty. Stepping in, bases loaded. Going to be number 7, Jose Portilla. Portilla. Well, mention he's played in all 22 games on the season. Timeout on the diamond. They're still checking on hit by pitch, Grady Alexander. And they're probably wondering if they want to go with a courtesy runner. But I think they're going to let Grady Alexander run for himself with 2 outs. So there's nothing wrong with that. He's got some wheels. That's an option. So bases loaded. Then Jose Portilla, right-handed batter. 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th inning. Working out a stretch. Now the set. First pitch to Portilla. Swing and a miss. So Portilla, he has participated in 22 games. This is 23. 37 plate appearances. 32 at-bats. He's batting .219. That right-handed batter's box. .297 on base percentage. Second pitch to Portilla. Ground ball, third base. Alex Schumer, he'll go to second. They'll get the force out with Mikey Stapleton, and the Knights get out of the inning and get out of a bit of a jam. So they leave 3 on base. Logansport leaves 3 on base. Come up with no runs. We'll go to the top of the 5th inning. After 4 completes, Central Catholic 3, Logansport 0. And we'll also mention this game is in part being brought to you by Discount Copy. Discount Copy, they are conveniently located at the west edge of Noblesville, Indiana, at 46062. They're just behind Pizza Hut and next to Bowl 32, right there along State Road 32. At Discount Copies, they provide setup services where you can turn your artwork into things such as note cards, notepads, prints, and calendars. And it's never too early to think about personalized Christmas cards. And we'll also mention they do oversized printing. They print posters, and then they'll help you. If you're planning a wedding, they can definitely help you. They can print all of your necessary needs. You can reach Discount Copies by phone at 317-773-8783. Again, that number is 317-773-8783. Or by Gmail, contact them at Discount Copies, the number 96 at gmail.com. Again, Discount Copies 96 at gmail.com. Discount Copies, I am definitely appreciative of them. Our football season, we get an email from the other coach, and we get an email from the coach we're working for, and we send those emails to them, and they print them in big fashion. It's like 10 by 17, maybe 11 by 17. We put that in front of us during the football game, and we have access to all the names and numbers. That is very helpful. Discount Copies. We're getting some warm-up tosses, there out on the pitcher's rubber. Number 15, Cooper Jones. Well, mentioned Grady Alexander. Had to put his gear on. Nothing wrong with that. He did the base running. He ended the inning at first base. He's got wheel. So I'm stepping in. I'm going to bat for the 3rd time in the ball game. Central Catholic Knights. Number 34, Isaiah Hopkins. Isaiah Hopkins going to step in. He's played in all 25 games, batting .385 in that right-handed batter's box. .539 on base percentage. He's got 1 double in this game and 1 of the RBI. He had scored 1 run. Here comes the pitch. We take that back. He didn't score the run. First pitch comes in, a ball high. 1 ball. So he'll step back in, right-handed batter's box. Working from the windup. Cooper Jones. Here comes the wide. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here and in. Glove low. Gets the signal. Still looking at signal. Glove high. Here comes the pitch. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Hopkins. It comes in. Strike called. And called on the outside edge. Hittable pitch. Outside edge. 1 ball, 2 strike. Cooper Jones steps back on the rubber. 2 together. Glove at the belly button. Gets the signal, shook 1 off. Now back of the chest. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Breaking pitch, low and away. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Step back in. Right-handed batter on deck for the Knights is Coy Gick. Working out a windup. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Replant the glove there. Here comes the 2-2. Swung on and take it to left field. It's going to get by the fielder and going to go a couple of bounces up against the wall. And he's going to end up with his second 2-base hit on the day. So Hopkins now at second base for the Knights. First batter here in the top of the 5th inning. Boy, Dick, Coach Dan Fry going to come out and talk to Grady Alexander. Grady Alexander might have been touched on the elbow there on the swing. I would be my guess. He's grimacing right there on that right elbow. So there's going to be a change. Looks like maybe at the catcher's position. Full swing right there by Isaiah Hopkins. Drove it to left field. And then running a pretty good long way just to cut the ball off after it hit the wall. In left field was Blake Pearson. So they're making an adjustment. Home plate umpire making an adjustment right there on that stenographer's pad. We'll mention this game is in part being brought to you by Lisa Stokes Bear. Lisa Stokes Bear. So Camden Chapman, they're going to move him to the catcher's position from first base. So making some notes here on the public address. Really helpful to make these adjustments on this piece of paper. So they're talking about that right now. So Chapman is going to be the catcher. You have a different first baseman. We'll try to capture that. He did say, I did miss it. Well, mention this game is in part being brought to you by Lisa Stokes Bear, Century 21. You can let Lisa look or let Lisa list. Lisa specializes in residential and corporate relocations. Lisa now does complimentary staging. Complimentary staging means that she'll list your home. She'll go inside your home. She'll clean your area. They'll move chairs around. They'll move things around, make it look presentable for an open house. And she will also show up with a power sprayer. And she'll power wash your home on the outside, making it look like that home came out of a magazine. And that's the word she mentioned when she told me that. She works hard. Lisa Stokes Bear, I think 27 plus years in real estate business. And Lisa will help you sell your home quicker. To contact Lisa Stokes Bear by phone or by text message, dial 317-513-4086. Again, 317-513-4086. I tell you what, they got some rain last night, some rain maybe early this morning. And pretty nice day. And we'll mention they're saying it was got up to 68 yesterday. They're saying 76 today. And tomorrow, Sunday, for the race, they're calling for 80 degrees. So they're going to get some Tosses here with the new catcher. New catcher, as mentioned, came over from first base, Camden. Chapman. I'm going to jog out and get some signals straight right there with Cooper Jones jogging back to second base, Isaiah Hopkins. And I'm double check first base there. He's a lefty. And I'm stepping in, nobody out. Second batter in the inning. Second batter in the inning for the Knights. We're in the top of the fifth. It's a 3-0 contest. Knights in front at second base. Just got a two-base hit. That's Isaiah Hopkins. Out of set position, Cooper Jones squaring the bunt. Pulled the bat back. Going to throw to second base on a snap throw. And a safe at second is Isaiah Hopkins. In the batter's box for Central Catholic is two-hitter number 2, Coy Gick. Coy Gick, center fielder. Looking at signals, Coach Bourdonnais. Third base coach, Coy Gick. In 283, it's 370 on base percentage. Peering in, looking at signals, Cooper Jones. Out of set position. He'll look at second. He squared the bunt again. Coy Gick pulls the bat back. It's a ball. It's a strike. Outside edge. Just outside edge. So count goes 0-2. No ball, 2 strikes. And Chapman's going to walk out and have another conversation. This might be his first actual conversation. He jogged out after the warm-ups to get signal. So on deck for the night is number 12, Alex Schumer. Long discussion there at the pitcher's mound. Camden Chapman and Cooper Jones. Camden Chapman will remind you he's a member of the junior class. Home plate umpire decides to walk out. He allowed pretty lengthy time to talk there, but make the ball live. Here we go. No balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second base for the Knights is Isaiah Hopkins. Peering in, looking at signals. Now the stretch, now the set position for Jones. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Gick. Outside of ball. Good slide to his right. Pitching that ball in the short hop. Grady Alexander. 1-2 count to Gick. Boy, Gick. Peering in, looking at signals. Cooper Jones. Nobody out. 1-2 count. Gick. Runner at second base for the Knights. Out of set, here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball, third base, fielded by Jose Cortila. He'll throw a rocket to first base, beating it out on an infield hit. Is Coy Gick. So Coy Gick beats it out, and the Knights have runners at first and third base. Cortila shot a rocket out of that right arm at third base, and Coy Gick beat it out. So stepping in, it's going to be Alex Schumer. He picks up some signals. Several signals given by Coach Bourdonnais. Peering in, looking at signals from the catcher, Grady Alexander. Now the set position. Cooper Jones. Here comes the pitch. This comes in just above the zone. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strike. Step back in. Alex Schumer, a member of the senior class, working from the stretch. Now the set position, checks third base. Here comes the 31 move, back safely at first base. So the IHSAA allows the 31. I think the MLB allows it, but everybody else got rid of it. So 1 ball, no strike. Out of set position, checks third base. Here's the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. Knights have runners at first and third. Left-handed batter, Alex Schumer. Played in all 25 games, batting .382. Out of set, here comes the pitch taken off for second base is Gick. Gick going to get a stolen base. They make the complete throw. And it's cut off just in front of the cutout in front of second base by shortstop Aaron Franco. And Coy Gick leads the team in stolen bases. He picks up number 16 on that stolen base. Out of set position, here comes the pitch. Swung on, base hit. between first and second base. Got the dirt, went on into the grass, and coming in to score is Isaiah Hopkins and Coy Dick. So a one base hit, 2 RBI off the bat of Alex Schumer. And the Knights have 2 in here in the top of the fifth. So stepping in is going to be number 30, Gus Sandberg. But there's going to be a timeout called. Coach Dan Fry going to walk out. We'll talk with his infield. So Alex Schumer picks up RBI number 26 and 27, and he picked up base hit number 18. He's got 27 hits now on the season. So Knight and the Berries, and looks like Coach Dan Fry going to make an adjustment on the pitcher's mound. I saw one of the players maybe sprinting into the dugout to change a glove. They use different gloves for different positions. Tell you what, back in the day, we was lucky to have a glove. But we're going to pull in from left field. I think we're going to see Blake Pearson, a right-handed pitcher. We'll double check there. But we'll mention this game is also in parts being brought to you by Round Tripper. Round Tripper Academy. That's the premier academy for baseball training in Westfield, Indiana. It's not too far away, just across town from Grand Park. Roundtripper.com. Just go to roundtripper.com. The owner is Chris Estep. He's an 85 graduate from Carmel High School. Round Tripper Sports Academy opened its doors in the fall of 1993. The vision was to become the premier facility for baseball training in central Indiana. 30 years and tens of thousands of student athletes later, they have become a mainstay for the elite athletes throughout the Midwest and in central Indiana. Their mission has been to become the place for every athlete, his or her, to reach their fullest potential. You can reach them by phone at 317-896-2900. Again, that's 317-896-2900. So they're getting some warm-up tosses out there on the pitcher's rubber. And next batter for the Knights is going to be Mikey Stapleton. And they're getting warmed up. They're going to step back in. And it's going to be Mikey Stapleton. Right-handed pitcher. Stepping in for the Knights, it's actually going to be Gus Sandberg. So stepping in, doing the pitching, right-handed batter is Cole Hudson. So out of threat, now the set. We'll square the bunt. Sandberg is going to be popped up right there into the catcher's position. And he'll dive for it. He'll make the catch. So nice catch by Camden Chapman for out number 1. So they bring in from bullpen area, that's number 3, Cole Hudson. Also a sophomore athlete doing the pitching right now for Logansport. Cole Hudson wears number 3. Cole Hudson, a 3.15 ERA. He's got 6 2/3 innings this season under his belt. Out of the set position, here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in. Strike called. Outside half. Mikey Stapleton in the batter's box. Cole Hudson. This is appearance number 7. He's given up 3 hits, 5 runs. 3 of them were earned. He's walked 3. He has struck out 7 batters in 6.2, 6 2/3. A foul ball back to the screen. Mikey Stapleton. Count goes 0-2 to Stapleton. So Cole Hudson, he's faced 31 batters. He's thrown 120 pitches. He also has 1 of the 4 balks, and he's hit 3 batters along the way. So out of the set, here comes the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, ground ball foul out by the Knights dugout. Count remains 0-2. So at first base for the night, the lone base runner is Alex Schumer. Knights have 2 runs in here in the top of the 5th. The 5-0 contest. Working out a set. Checks first base over the left shoulder. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, going to be a base hit to right field. Going to get down right down the line. He's going to cut it off. Nope, he's going to go against the fence. They'll throw it back in. It was Hudson Shank. Hits the cutoff, Taylor Albright. And it's going to be a 2-base hit for Mikey Stapleton. And Alex Schumer moves over to third base. So Stapleton picks up his 6th double on the season. He now has 32 hits, two hits in the ballgame. So stepping in for the night, number 21. That's Caden Keller, left-handed batter. Runners at second and third. There's one out. Top of the 5th. Out of the set position. Cole Hudson. Here's the pitch. Going to foul this one back out of play. So no balls, 1 strike. Caden Keller. Here and in, looking at signals out of the stretch. Cole Hudson out of the set position. Infield is in on the lip of the grass. Here comes the pitch. Low for a ball. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Step back in, left-handed batter. Caden Keller. Caden Keller on the season. He played in 24 of the 25 games. Batting .333. Out of the set, here comes the pitch. With full swing, ground ball, second base. They're going to throw the plate. They're going to put the tag on him, and he's going to be called out. Going to slide in head first. Alex Schumer thought he might have got in. Home plate umpire going to call him out, and Coach Bourdonnais going to walk towards home plate. I have a little bit of a conversation here with the home plate umpire. And I know back in umpire days, I should say back in classroom days, sometimes when you approach the umpire, you might say, well, this is what I've been told. You say, can I ask what you saw there? And so you're not basically defeating the purpose. But I'm jogging over to first base. We're going to see a base runner. It's going to be Keegan McCarter. So you're going to go to first base and run for the pitcher. He'll be the courtesy runner. Caden Keller. Keegan McCarter. And so the Knights have runners at first and third. And there are 2 outs. And stepping in is number 5, Colton Minnick. Colton Minnick, 7-hitter. Colton Minnick batting .250, entering this game. .333 on base percentage. 24 plate appearances, 20 at bats. Entering the game. Here comes the pitch from Hudson. I should say Cole Hudson. Above the zone, ball 1. So runners on the corners with 2 out. Several signals given by Coach Bourdonnais. Right-handed batter block. Peering in. Signal. Looks at first base. Now the set position. Here comes the pitch to Minnick. Pitch comes in. Breaking pitch. Broke across the plate. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 count, 2 outs. They're going to steal early. They should have called a balk there. They didn't. They slipped that foot in. That left foot went forward to push off to back behind the rubber. And they're going to say he stepped off legitimately. Coach Bourdonnais wants a little conversation there, and this is a deserved conversation. So for the moment, Alex Schumer is going to stay at second base. That's a home plate umpire call. He didn't call it. Stepped off the back. But you got to step back without moving the left foot if you're a right-handed pitcher. You got to climb over that rubber and then step over, bring your left foot around. But anyway, so they're going to call the out. Well, wait a minute. They're going to call it a stolen base. There we go. So he stole the base legitimately. He got the stolen base. Keegan McCarter is at second base, but that would have scored a run. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Out of the set position. Hudson, here comes the pitch. Swung on, going to take it to left center. It's going to look to get the gap. It is going to get the gap. Picks up on a hop by the center fielder, Bryson Hurd. Knights are going to score 2. Coming in to score is Keegan McCarter and Mikey Stapleton. So a base hit and 2 RBI off the bat of Colton Minnick. Colton Minnick is at first base. No, he's at first base now. And in the batter's box is number 3, L.J. Whitford. We're going to have a stretch. Now the set. Next first base. Here's the pitch. Swung on back up the middle. Good effort at second base by Albright. Goes on through. Picked up in center field. They're going to throw to third base. Sliding in head first, safe is Colton Minnick. And Coach Bornay gives him a pat on the back. So L.J. Whitford picks up a single. He does extend to second base on the throw to third base. So Whitford picks up a base hit. He now has 20 hits on the season. That makes number 14 as a single. So he got 14 singles, 5 doubles, and he has a home run. He's looking for that first triple. So right-handed batter's box, Brendan Van Kirk. We're going to stretch. Now the set. Here comes a pitch. Swung on and pop it out of play. Brendan Van Kirk played in all 25 games, 82 plate appearances, 73 at-bats, batting .315. A right-handed batter's box at .378 on base percentage. 23 hits. He has 21 singles, 2 doubles. Out of set position, Cole Hudson. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Above the zone, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. He'll step back in. Knights have runners at second and third. There are 2 out. Knights have 4 runs in. Here in the top of the 5th. It's a 7-0 contest. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, swing and miss. Might have been off speed. He might have a bit of a drop ball in his arsenal. But 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Right-handed batter's box, Brendan Van Kirk. Graduated from high school, I understand. I guess it was last night. They're not going to hit him on the leg on the bounce, and there's no hit by pitch shown by the home plate umpire. And Brendan Van Kirk, I thought for sure he got hit by pitch. He's ready to go to first base. So didn't work out there. And I'm walking in, Coach Boardman, and I'll ask the home plate umpire. It was a bounce. It short hopped in the batter's box, that right-handed batter's box. It was a short hop. And Brendan Van Kirk, pretty sure he got hit by pitch, but they're going to keep him in the box. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2-2 count, 2 out. Let's step in. Runners at second and third base for the Knights. L.J. Whitford at second base. Colton Minnick at third base. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch, going to lock him up. Going to strike him out looking. And that was a good breaking pitch by Cole Hudson. And that's going to get Logansport out of the inning. But not before Central Catholic Knights pick up 4 runs in the top of the 5th. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. After 4.5, Central Catholic 7, Logansport 4. And again, we do thank you for tuning in. And we'll also mention a little bit more about the national high school leaders. These are national high school leaders, but there's some guys from the state of Indiana right there with them. We'll mention a little bit about the home run leaders. Home run leaders, number 1 in the nation, senior Martin Shaler, Atlanta, Georgia. He plays baseball. He plays center field. That's his only sport. In 33 games, his batting average is .506. He's got 118 plate appearances, 89 at-bats. He's got 19 home runs. 19 home runs leads the nation. Indiana baseball players, home run division, we'll mention. At number 1 in the state of Indiana, he is number 182 overall in the nation. It's Sean Dunlap. He's 6'3", 215. He's got 9 home runs. At number 2, he's number 188 in the nation, 23 games. Ian Taylor from Guerin Catholic, 9 home runs, batting .492. First pitch from Keller. Strike call. I should say a strike. Swinging strike. In the batter's box is number 8, Hudson. We'll double check here. The pitch comes in outside of ball. I believe it's Blake Pearson. We'll double check there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Foul ball back to the screen. It's going to be retrieved by the on-deck batter. So 1-2 count. That's number 18, Bryson Herb, center fielder in the box. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Inside and tall, ball 2. 2-2 count to Bryson Herb. Keller, here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in, strike 3. Called strike. He'll go down looking. Now, 2 o'clock arm slot. Got the dish right across there. It angled for a strike. So 1 out. Next batter for Logansport, going to be the 1 hitter. Number 2, Hudson Shank. Hudson Shank plays right field for the Berries. They're going to play him straight away in the outfield. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, he'll go straight away right at Coy Gick. He'll step in a few steps and make the catch. So a nice stroke right there by Hudson Shank. But playing right there was Coy Gick. There are 2 outs. So next batter going to step in, Taylor Albright. He plays second base. Where's number 14? He's played in all 26 games, 95 plate appearances. And that's in 26 games. He's got 80 at bats, you got 338 batting average in that right-handed batter's box. Here comes the pitch. First pitch came in, it was a strike. Second pitch comes in, a ball. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs, working from the windup. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball, third base, Alex Schumer. He got it off the glove. He went to retrieve it with the hand, dropped the baseball, and it's going to be a rare error on this third baseman, Alex Schumer. So first error on the scoreboard in the ball game. So stepping in with 2 outs. Stepping in, number 16, Blake Pearson. Working out a stretch. Here comes a pitch from the set position. Going to pop it up, foul ball, out of play. Great back. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner at first base for Logansport is Taylor Albright. Out of set, Caden Keller. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch. Low for a ball. 1-1 count. 1-1 count to Pearson. On deck is Braylon Ritchie. Out of set, here comes the pitch. The outside, a ball. 2-1 count. 2 balls, 1 strike. Blake Pearson. Out of set. Caden Keller, here comes the pitch. Be just inside a ball. 3-1 count. At 2 o'clock arm slot, a little bit too far inside on that one to the right-handed batter, Blake Pearson. 3-1 count, 2 out. Here comes the pitch. Inside severely that time. Ball 4. So that's going to put 2 on base for Logansport with 2 out. Runners at first and second base, Braylon Ritchie. Braylon Ritchie going to step in, but first, Isaiah Hopkins jogs out, talking with Keller, and now Coach Bourdonnais going to walk out also with 2 aboard, and Braylon Ritchie at the plate. I think Braylon Ritchie, we'll mention, on the season, he's got 3 home runs. And as I mentioned earlier, he got one of them 8 days ago versus Central Catholic. That was in the Hoosier Conference crossover game. I think it was a 2 RBI, including himself, obviously. But 2 outs on the diamond. Coach Bordenay out talking, and we'll talk about this. Most games played all time in the MLB. Number 1 is Pete Rose, 3,562 games. Number 2, Carl Yastrzemski, Boston Red Sox, 3,308. Number 3, Hank Aaron, 3,298. We'll finish that up between innings. So stepping in, Braylon Ritchie. Runners at first and second base with 2 outs. Working out a stretch. Now the set, Caden Keller. Here comes the pitch to Ritchie. Outside of ball. For 1 ball, no strikes. I think this umpire has done well. He'd make a good sectional umpire. Maybe even a regional and a semi-state, and maybe the final game. Ball goes out of play, a foul ball right side. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, his umpiring skills are good. Balls and strikes, it should. For 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out. 2 aboard, out of set position. Here's a pitch from Keller. Swung on, ground ball foul, third baseline. So he'll stay in the box. He'll get a 1-2 count now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They'll track that ball down. Home plate umpire going to give him a minute to track it down. I will say the baseline, probably from about 80 or 100 feet past the base, the foul fence. There's not a lot of foul territory there. It's basically a warning track that goes straight down to the home run fence. Not much space there. That's why you didn't wait to track that down. Here comes the pitch. Ball outside. Count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 out, 2 aboard for Logansport. 7-0 contest. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Out of the set, Caden Keller. Here comes the pitch. Foul ball back to the screen. So Braylon Ritchie, a member of the sophomore class, back 4 spot for Logansport Berries. 3 home runs on the season. Out of the set. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he'll go down swinging. And the Knights get out of the jam. So the Knights bat in the top of the 6th. Logansport Berries come up with no runs. At the bottom of the 5th, it's still a 7-0 advantage for Central Catholic. And again, we'll mention this up. Most games played. We'll review a minute. Pete Rose, 3,562, 3,562 games. Number 2 in the MLB all time is Carl Yastrzemski, 3,308. Number 3 is Hank Aaron, 3,298. Number 4 is Ricky Henderson. He was a base stealing and crazy man. He could fly, 3,081. Number 5, Albert Pujols, 3,080, just 1 game behind Ricky Henderson. Number 6, Ty Cobb, 3,035. Number 7, Stan Musial, 3,026. Number 8, Eddie Murray. Eddie Murray, left-handed, right-handed batter, switch hitter. He's the all-time leader in home runs as a switch hitter. MLB, 3,026. Number 9, Cal Ripken. It doesn't say junior there. I think it might be 3,001. Yeah, I think it is. And number 10 is Willie Mays, 2,992. So stepping in for the Knights, number 34, Isaiah Hopkins. The ball loose outside the dugout there. Logan's court side. They'll retrieve it. Home plate umpire, very cautious, and that's a good thing. So stepping in, Isaiah Hopkins. Out of the set, Cole Hudson. Here's the pitch. Pitch comes in. Ball 1. Might have been a ball low and inside. So peering in, he's working from a stretch. Primarily, evidently thought of as a relief pitcher is Cole Hudson. Nobody on base. Out of the set, here comes the 1-0 pitch. Try to check his swing. It's going to be a called strike by the home plate umpire. No help needed. Count goes 1-1. On deck is Hoy Gick. for the night. Working out a stretch. Now the set. Here comes the 1-1. Hopkins. Breaking pitch finishes low. Ball two. Isaiah Hopkins batting 385. He's got two doubles in this game. Out set. Here comes the pitch. Outside. Ball three. 3 balls, 1 strike. Isaiah Hopkins might see a good pitch right here. 3-1 count. First batter for the Knights here in the top of the sixth. Here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in tight. Dump's going to call a strike. Delayed reaction. Difficult, but achievable. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Here comes a 3-2 from Hudson. Swung on and take it to left field, pretty much right at the left fielder. It's caught. Blake Pearson. So 1 out here in the top of the sixth. So Boy Gick, you're going to step in. Next batter for the night. Center fielder. He's batting 283. 283 on the season. The 370 on base percentage. Right-handed batter. Here comes the pitch. Right-handed pitcher. Cole Hudson. He'll foul this one out of play. No balls, 1 strike. Step back in. Here and in, looking at signal. On a set position. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Count goes 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Here and in, looking at signal. Out of stretch. Now the set position. 1 out. Here comes the 0-2. Swing and a miss. So go down swinging. And there are 2 out here in the top of the sixth inning. So next batter going to step in for Central Catholic. It's going to be Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer, last time up, got a single, scored 2 runs, 2 RBI with that single from Alex Schumer. Appearing in, working out a stretch, nobody on. Pitcher is Cole Hudson. Here comes the pitch. A short hop the glove. Good block there by Grady Alexander. We'll double check there. No, check that. It is Camden Chapman. Came in short relief for Grady. We'll hope to get him back soon. Here comes the pitch. Going to foul this one. Left side out of play. Didn't get far out of play. You're going to hit the dugout. Third base dugout. Logansport. So he'll step back in. I think they got a metal types on that dugout. I'm sure that one got a dimple. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. We're going to stretch. Now the set. Cole Hudson. Here comes the pitch to Schumer. He'll take a shot and he'll go to second base. 2 hops picked up there by Taylor Albright. He'll throw next door and get the put out. So the Knights are out of the inning. Knights send 3 to the plate. 3 outs. And we'll mention, Knights come up with no runs. The top of the sixth after 5.5. Central Catholic 7. Logansport 0. We'll go to the bottom of the sixth inning. Again, we do thank you for tuning in. And we'll also mention today's ball game is in part being brought to you by Fritz. FritzandFishers.com. Fritz and Fishers, they buy cars. They sell cars. They'll trade, and they'll help you finance your car, truck, or SUV. They have preferred low mileage and one-owner automobiles. They have 2 Hamilton County, Indiana locations. One is in Fishers at 8599 East 116th Street. You can dial their dealership there at 317-842-2228. Again, 317-842-2228. In Noblesville, that's between Noblesville and Westfield, right there along State Road 32. Their second dealership. You can dial them there at 317-773-2232. And we'll mention you can visit them online at fritzandfishers.com. FRITZ. So stepping in for that Logansport. Logansport stepping in. So you're going to step in. It's going to be shortstop Cooper Jones. He moved over to shortstop from the pitcher's position. First pitch comes in a ball high. So Cooper Jones steps back in. Sophomore athlete. Second pitch outside a ball. Right-handed batter's box. Cooper Jones wears number 15. They got these red, white, and blue. They're white jerseys. Around their chest and around their back, they've got the stripes. Red, white, and then they got the stars over the shoulder. They are nice. I think we saw those last year. So full swing, foul ball, left side. Count goes 2-1 to Cooper Jones. Cooper Jones batting .324, a .361 on base percentage. Here comes a pitch from Keller. Going to foul this one right side, out of play. So count goes 2-2. First batter for Logansport here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Here and in, looking to see. Out of the windup, here comes the pitch. Going to poke one. Going to drop it in, a base hit over second baseman, Mikey Stapleton. He was just trying to stay alive in the box. He poked that into right field, kind of like a tennis shot, kind of like just a tennis racket, and got on base. A base hit for Cooper Jones. The Jones is at first base, stepping in. He's doing the catching presently. Now, he's batting right now, but he is the catcher of record. Camden Cap. He's going to pop one. It might be playable, and it will be. And second baseman, Mikey Stapleton. He kind of got off the handle right there on that cut, and it moved Mikey to his right. He caught it back on the lip of the grass. There's one out here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Stepping in, first baseman. Getting some action right here in the ball game. Easton Sweet, where's number 17? So first pitch outside the ball. Easton Sweet, he's played in 19 games. This is his 20th game. 32 plate appearances, 28 at-bats, batting .286. You're going to pop one up, playable on the infield. Sky high major league fly ball on the infield. Caught again there by Mikey Stapleton for the second out. So staying put at first base. The 2 out here in the bottom of the sixth. They're going to go in with a runner here. I should say a batter stepping into bat for Logansport. Number 25, Parker Hayden. Parker Hayden, he's also a sophomore. He's going to step in. He's playing offensively in his fifth game of the season. He's got 4 plate appearances, 4 at-bats. He's been left on base 1 time. So right-handed batter's box. Parker Hayden, as mentioned, a member of the sophomore class. They have 6 sophomores. They got 5 juniors, 8 seniors. And on my roster here, they list 19 players. They do not have a freshman on the list. So stepping in, Parker Hayden. Working out a stretch, now the set. Hayden Keller, here comes the pitch to Hayden. Nice cut. Swing and miss, count goes 0-1. Nice cut. Hand over fist by Parker Hayden. He'll step back in. Get that right foot back on the chalk there in the batter's box. Here comes the pitch taken off of second base. Going to be a shot to left field. Going to get over the head of Brennan Van Kirk. Is going to bounce up against the wall. And Logansport going to score a run. And a nice shot to left field, a double, and an RBI. So nicely positioned right there. Brennan Van Kirk basically had no chance. So back in my slow pitch softball days, they'd call that burning the outfielder. So 2 outs and 1 run in. The Logansport, the 7-1 contest. We're the bottom of the 6th. Swung on, foul ball, out of play. And no balls, 1 strike. I'm going to step back in. I will say these numbers on the back of these jerseys are really condensed left to right. Hard to see. Going to pop one up, foul, out of play. Count goes 0-2. Bryson Herb. Bryson Herb, 9-hitter, center fielder. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. They'll go down swinging, but not before. Parker Hayden, double and an RBI. And then Parker Hayden probably felt pretty good to him. So they get 1 run in. Logansport, and we'll mention, after 6 completes, Central Catholic, 7. Logansport, 1. And we do definitely appreciate you tuning in. And we'll also mention today's ball game is in part being brought to you by Indiana Beach. Indiana Beach, that's an amusement park and a water park. IndianaBeach.com. They're in Monticello, Indiana. They have season passes. They are available for the 2026 season, $77.99. Or you can bring last season's pass in and exchange it with just $71.99. They got roller coasters, boat rides. You can spend a whole day at the water park. There is more than corn in Indiana. Indiana Beach celebrating their 100th anniversary. That's 100 years of pure fun. You can call them at 574-583-4141. Stepping in to bat, Gus Sandberg was number 30. Right into batter's box facing the righty, Cole Hudson. Pop one up skyward. It's going to be behind the catcher. You're going to give it a look right there. And looks up and makes the catch. That's going to be a catch. It was not off the screen. Right up against the backstop. And well done by Camden Chapman. Camden Chapman, I bet he'd rather play first base, though. So 1 out, stepping in for the night. Number 11, Mikey Stapleton. Mikey Stapleton stepping in 25 games at 435. Here comes the pitch. It comes inside edge, strike called. No balls, 1 strike. 1 out. Top of the 7th inning. Nice batting. Here comes the pitch. That's inside, breaking pitch. Nothing called a strike. Might have been a slider. Nope, wasn't a slider. Might have been he burnt that in. It had a tail to it. And I think they call that a screwball. So working out a stretch. Now the set. Here comes the 0-2. Full swing. Drop third strike. And they're going to say he didn't get a piece of the baseball. So he thought he got a foul tip. Is off the surface. For the moment, they're calling it a drop third. Mikey, he's pretty much asking the umpire, did you call that a foul ball? Because it was off my bat and went straight to the surface. And then he fielded it. And they're going to call it out. Both umpires are going to say they didn't hear anything or see anything peculiar. I can't say that word. Anything weird. But Stapleton going to strike out. And there are 2 outs. So stepping in, Caden Keller. He's gone the distance for the night. Pitcher's rub. Here comes the first pitch from Hudson, high and outside. Ball 1, and Hudson brought the fastball on that one. But 1 ball, no strikes, 2 out. All it's sad, here comes the pitch. Swung on, you'll pop it up. I'm going to go back out of play. 1-1 count. It's a Caden Keller. They have 10 runs in the ball game. Berries have 5. Knights have committed to 1 error. Here comes the pitch. Inside on the breaking pitch for a ball. Count goes 2-1. On deck for the Knights, number 5, Colton Minnie. A little bit of an open stance there. Keller. Pretty good stand. Here comes the pitch. Going to take a ground ball, second base, Taylor Albright. They'll throw to first base. They'll get the put out. And the Knights are out of the inning here in the top of the 7th inning. So they'll bring it back in. And Knights through 7 have 7 runs. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Knights 7, Berries 1. And again, we'll mention tomorrow afternoon, I think they're going to have at the Indianapolis 500 Motor Speedway. You can tune in tomorrow to WXIN Channel 59 at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. They're going to put a show together, and they'll have a good bit of information before the race. And I think they're saying that the national anthem is going to be sung at 12:24 p.m. The race scheduled to begin at 12:45, and yet Indiana football Coach Signetti, going to drive that pace car. That'd have to be fun. Maybe they'll give him one. They might, but he could probably buy his own. So they're getting some warm-up tosses right now on the pitcher's mound for the Knights. Tatum Adriano going to get warmed up. Tatum Adriano wears number 28, and he's getting some warm-up tosses right now. And we'll let you know a little bit about Tatum. So far, 13 and 2/3 innings on the season, a 4.610 ERA. This is appearance number 12. He has started one game. He's faced a total number of 62 batters. He's thrown a total number of 243 pitches. He's got 2 wins, 1 loss. He's got 1 save, the only save the Knights staff, and 1 save opportunity. He's allowed 10 hits, 13 runs. 9 of those runs were earned. He's walked 9 batters. He struck out 17. And 4 of those batters went down looking, and he's hit by pitch 2 batters along the way. So getting ready to begin bottom of the 7th inning. And I'm stepping in. There's going to be the one hitter, Hudson Shank. Hudson Shank, where's number 2? He's going to step in batting .317. 97 plate appearances, 82 at-bats. As mentioned, he leads the team in appearances. See, so he is the one hitter, and he's got some wheels. So Hudson Shank, he plays right field, right-handed batter, peering over the glove, getting a single. Tatum Adriano. Here comes the wind. Here comes the first pitch. Breaking pitch. I might have been a fastball. It's coming out of the crouch there was Isaiah Hopkins. He reached up about it with a half bent elbow and couldn't grab it. So it goes back to the screen. Count goes 1-0. 1-0 count. Here comes the second pitch from Tatum Adriano. Right down Meridian. He's going to call it a strike. Did need help. There was a check swing. It's a called strike, not because of the swing. So he's probably giving a discount for the check. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Adriano. Swung on, swing and a miss. Nice healthy cut there from Hudson Shank. 394 on base percentage. He's got 26 hits, 19 singles, 6 doubles, and 1 triple. Here comes the wind, the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, he'll foul this one right side out of play. Hudson Shank going to stay in that batter's box. He's got 7 RBI. Being the one hitter, he's got 22 runs scored, and that does lead the team. He's been left on base 26 times. Here comes the wind. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and miss. They'll set him down swinging, and there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. So we're going to step in. It's going to be number 14, second baseman. That's Taylor Albright. Taylor Albright also has played in all 26 games. I will mention that Hudson Shank did miss 1 game. The wind up, here comes the pitch. Going to be a called strike off the glove. Goes back to the backstop. Goes 0-1 to Taylor Albright. Working out the wind up, peering over the glove. Getting the signal. Tatum Adriano. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Breaking pitch. It's going to be just inside. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Taylor Albright in the batter's box. A right-handed bat. Here comes the wind. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and take it to right field. A base hit. The drop in there picked up by Colton Minnick. He rounds first base, and he stays there with a single. So Taylor Albright gets himself aboard here in the bottom of the 7th inning. So we're going to see number 16, the 3-hitter, Blake Pearson. Blake Pearson plays left field. for the Berries, another right-handed batter. Blake Pearson, he's played in all 26 games, 96 plate appearances, 84 at-bats, batting .310. Right-handed batter's box, a .385 on-base percentage. Here comes the pitch. Low for ball one. Up to call that a strike. Going to call that a strike. He's working on the front of that plate. Front of that plate distinguished as the point of attraction for a strike zone. No balls, one strike. One out of the set position. Adriano, here comes the pitch. Good vertical frame there by Isaiah Hopkins. It's a strike called on the outside edge. No balls, two strikes to Pearson. There's one out. Runner at first base is Taylor Auburn. We're going to stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch from Adriano. Swung on, swing and a miss. So they'll set him down swinging, and there are two out. We're in the bottom of the seventh inning. And next batter going to step in. It's going to be the four-hitter, number 12, Braylon Ritchie. Braylon Ritchie has been sat down twice in this game. First time looking. There's two outs. Working out a stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the pitch from Adriano. Sexy swing. I believe he'll check it. It's going to be a ball. Ball one. Pretty good check right there by Braylon Ritchie. Just a sophomore. A lot of upside for Ritchie. Ritchie probably make the North-South All-Star game in the near future. Maybe junior, senior year. Here comes a pitch. Inside and tall. Ball two. Two balls, no strikes. Here in, looking to stick. Robbins made the North-South All-Star game for the night. Bryn Robin. Here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in tall for a ball. Count goes 3-0 to Ritchie. With three balls, no strikes, two outs. Here and in, looking at Sig. Tatum Adriano. Modest lead at first base for Taylor Albright. Doesn't want to get that third out on him. Out of set. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. Right down Meridian. They're going to call that a strike. Down goes 3-1. Three balls, one strike. Two outs, bottom of the seventh. Knights in front, 7-1. We're going to have a stretch. Now the set position. Here comes a 3-1 from Adriano. Be high above the zone. Not much. It's going to be ball four. So Braylon Ritchie, I think that's his second base on balls this ball game. And stepping in, we're going to see number 15, Cooper Jones. He started this game as the pitcher. He moved to shortstop. Now he's a right-handed batter in the bottom of the seventh. Working out a stretch. Now the set. Two aboard. Here comes the pitch. Ball just above the zone. Ball one. One ball, no strikes. Two out. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the stretch. Tatum Adriano. Out of the set position. Looks at second base. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It comes in. Strike called, inside edge. One ball, one strike. Well, the umpire is definitely poised. Out of the set position. Adriano. Checks second base. Here's the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. Count goes 1-2. They say in umpire school, you're supposed to, when you call a ball in the crouch position, you stand up. You're supposed to wait just a bit and then stand up slowly to show poise. So timeout called in the right-handed batter's box. Number 15, Cooper Jones. One ball, two strikes, two outs. Two aboard for Logansport, first and second base. Now the set position. Let's look at second base. Tatum Adriano. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Ball strike three, inside edge. And they're going to set him down looking, and that's going to complete today's ball game. Full 7-inning game. Logansport and Central Catholic. Final score, Lafayette Central Catholic 7. Logansport Berries 1. And I will remind you, Logansport Berries in their sectional. In their sectional, they will play on Thursday, the 28th. That's May the 28th, a 7 o'clock start. It's going to be Peru, the Peru Tigers, and Logansport right here at Logansport High School. And Logansport will be the home team. And we'll also mention Central Catholic. Central Catholic, their next game on the agenda, going to be Monday the 25th, coming right up. 12 noon contest with Hamilton Heights, the home game for Central Catholic. And then they'll play the very next day on Tuesday, the 26th of May. That'll be a 6 o'clock start. Lafayette Central Catholic will travel to Perry Meridian High School, and that particular field is called Holder Field, Holder. That's Holder Field, and evidently Coach Bordenay tells me that field is shared by Perry Meridian and also Southport. And I will remind you about the sectional. The Knights will play in the semifinal. Their first game will be Saturday, May the 30th at 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. And they will play the winner of Wednesday's 6 o'clock game. That'll be Rensselaer Central and Western Boone. We do thank you for tuning in, and we thank you for listening. And we're going to bow out of here. We'll talk to Coach Bordenay here in just a moment or two. And please stay tuned, and we'll mention we thank my wife back home. She listens diligently at home and then texts me messages for anything that's going wrong. And I hope nothing did, but I'm sure it did. So we're going to bow out of here. No matter if you're home or away, if you're doing the teaching and the learning, don't let him go. Keep the fire burning. We're post game. I'm going to talk to Coach Bordenay. Coach Bordenay, 7-1. Had a good game.
Yeah, I thought we played well. Caden really threw well and came up with some big hits. We had 2 innings. We scored all of our runs. We had really some clutch hits in those 2 innings.
A double digit on the hit department on the scoreboard for the night.
Yeah, I thought we swung the bats really well all day. And like I said, we came through with some big hits and kind of up and down the lineup, which is good to see.
Monday, Hamilton Heights, Tuesday, Perry Meridian.
Yeah, good way to finish the season. We're playing some quality teams here down the stretch. We gotta bring it. It's like we're gonna have to bring it in the tournament. So it's going to get us prepared for next week.